Hi everybody, my name is Katie and this week's discussion board is on autism spectrum disorder. And the first question is, how might I involve students with autism and encourage them to participate in group and one-on-one interactions with other students in the classroom? So ways that I can involve students and encourage them to participate is in positive reinforcement. I have to do this at my camp with kids that have autism. Sometimes they like to be by themselves and doing their own thing, but that isn't always possible. So ways that I can, allow them to participate or encourage them to participate is by saying, okay, now we're gonna go and, we had like a house sorting ceremony like Harry Potter in our camp. And I said, do you like Harry Potter? And she said, yes. And I said, okay, now we're gonna go and do this house sorting ceremony. And when she started walking over there, I celebrated her for participating. Thank you so much for coming and doing this. You're going to have so much fun, things like that. Providing schedules, whether that be verbal or visual. Autism spectrum disorder is truly a spectrum, and people can present in so many different ways, especially in women and girls. So whether that is, a visual schedule, like writing on a whiteboard, the schedule for the day, and verbally announcing that schedule at the beginning of the day or throughout the day, next we're gonna go and do music, things like that. Doing structured group activities and providing roles for each student is so important. Like let's say that they're doing a marble and straw roller coaster. Okay, I'm gonna have this student do, laying all the materials out, and the student will, draw a picture of what it's gonna look like, things like that. And modeling social skills is really important, but I think that should be something that is done for every single kid, especially those with learning and processing disorders. And as well as giving choices, that is such an important thing for people with learning and processing disorders, or even children with behavioral disorders. If we have a child in our camp that has autism, we'll provide choices. So there'll be different stations. Like during free time, I'll say, okay, do you want to go and do our blue blocks, or would you like to go and make bracelets with me? And sometimes all of that verbal information can be overstimulating. So just, even like the choice boards that we learned about this week, I think that would be a really great way to allow children to make their own choices. So how will I modify assignments to allow positive social interaction and the assistive technology device that I would use? So I love interactive whiteboards. That could be a smart board or any other type of interactive whiteboard would be great to use. And also for students that are nonverbal, communication devices are amazing and allow them to express themselves. So I can modify assignments, with group projects. I can assign specific roles like I talked about earlier. Discussion circles, I can allow for, more time if my student has autism and, is partially nonverbal, allowing for more time for them to complete assignments or to do assignments differently. If I'm doing a math equation and she doesn't do work in her head, or he doesn't do work in his head, I can accommodate to that. How might I be able to involve students with ASD to help them learn social and life skills while working with students in a general education classroom? The buddy system is great. I use this in my camp as well. I'll pair a neurotypical person with a neurodivergent person, and also this helps the neurotypical person to experience new ways of thinking and perceptions that they might have not gotten if not paired. And this can help model social skills and positive social interactions. Using visual supports, visual schedules. If you're explaining something new, having visuals is really great, especially those with visual learning and photo memory. Doing role playing, especially when these children are really young. Role playing, like having a fake kitchen in the classroom, or having a prop box with, like, I have a geology discovery lab that I made, you know, role playing, and also something that Temple Grandin talked about in this week's TED Talk was exposure. These children with autism, I personally believe that they are incredibly intelligent, and I think that they have hyperfixations. I know I have hyperfixations, and when children are exposed to new things that interest them, you know, they can go so far with that. Whether that be, like, I have a child that is obsessed with calculators in my camp, and if he had not been exposed to a calculator, he would have never known that that was something he was interested in. Exposure to different types of work, whether that be manual labor or computer coding, like Temple Grandin discussed. And my thoughts on autism are that it's very undiagnosed in females. You know, females present differently with ADHD and autism than males do. You know, they may be more quiet, and so they're not labeled as hyperactive, or, you know, masking is also a big problem. I talked to a parent that wishes their child would mask, and I don't agree with that. I think that it is important for children with autism, even though this is not a world that is meant to, this is not a world that is built for people with learning and processing disorders and behavioral disorders. And so allowing them to mask can exhaust them. It can help, it can lower their self-esteem and their identity and self-perception of themselves. I think it's important for children with autism to learn how to unmask and to truly be themselves. And I think that is something that we should encourage in the classroom, especially as, you know, teachers, you know, they try to, no offense, put every child in a box. And I think that there's a lot of children that think outside the box, and so we should encourage that. But yeah, thank you.